Okay, the video game King of Fighters was primarily known for it being 3-on-3 teams. Depending on how you played, either you picked a pre-created team or you kind of made your own team. Pre-created teams had actual endings. Ones that you made yourself did not have actual endings. And your team would be vastly different. You might have one guy who's good with projectiles, one guy who's good up close, and then a guy who's kind of like, it's like a Zangief. So very rarely did you have a team that was 3 identical playing characters, and that was made it kind of fun. And they also had some more intricate moves, as opposed to just quarter circle, punch, fireball. You could have quarter circle, half circle, fireball, and it'd be much larger size projectile. So when I found there was a King of the Fighters movie, I was like, great. First, I thought it was going to be a cartoon. Throw it in, it's not. It's live action. Okay, no big deal. Still good, still good. However, some of the characters look absolutely nothing like what they do in the game. Ray Parks is the main villain as Omega Rugal. If you ever played any of the King of Fighter games, you kind of know Omega Rugal doesn't look anything at all like Ray Parks. They have a woman who's playing Mai. If you've ever seen, Mai is really one of the more mainstream characters from the game. She is normally someone who would have back issues to an almost comical level. And they pick a very fine actress who looks something like Mai. They've got, I think it's Andy Bogard, who looks nothing like Andy. They've got Terry, who looks nothing like Terry. They've got Kyo, who looks kind of like Kyo. Kind of. They have Iori Yagami, who looks kind of like Iori, but does not wear the very traditional Iori Yagami suit. And the purpose of this one is, Omega Rugal is trapped in an alternate universe that he's trying to merge with the current universe, but he has to defeat people and become the King of Fighters. In order to defeat him, magical artifacts have to be discovered and then used to defeat him. This is entirely different from a game where groups of 3 battled it out until eventually they made it to the person who was running the tournament and then defeated him. The fighting scenes are actually really solid. They throw in a decent amount of characters into it that look nothing at all like the characters from the video game. The plot is kind of poor. Whenever it's, these mystical artifacts need to be gathered so that way then when we go into the fighting realm, we can use them to defeat Omega Rugal. And Ray Parks, while a very fantastic fighter, he would have been a better fit as like Billy Kane. When I first saw him, that's who I thought he was. I did not picture him as Rugal at all. They also throw in the, I think it's Orochi. Now, the Orochi was kind of like a demon presence that Iori began to kind of get controlled by. So, Orochi Iori was always like ridiculously powerful, but had almost no defensive capabilities. That's in this movie as this weird kind of floating tentacle orb. And it's done really weird. They probably should have edited that out and wouldn't have made a difference. So King of Fighters, a really solid video game that came out to be this kind of confusing pseudo cop drama quest for artifacts sort of movie that really should have been done a lot better.